Hey, Bayek, it's me, Ian. And in today's video, I'm continuing my look at Alfred Hitchcock films. This is from the second box set, and this is North by Northwest, 1959. And this is an absolute classic. It's acknowledged as that, and well, let's get into it. It's 136 minutes long. It's 97% on Rotten Tomatoes, reflecting critics do love this film. So did the public as well. It was made on a budget of $4.3 million and made $9.8 million. Now, it was written by Ernest Lehman, who was well known in terms of writing Sabrina, 1954, a Billy Wilder classic. Then West Side Story, 1961, a musical. But also, there's a theme here, The Sound of Music, 1968. 1965 classic musical. He wrote the screenplay. I didn't know that. There we are. You learn something different, don't you? And then Hello, Dolly, 1969. And then he worked for Hitchcock again with Family Plot, yes, which we've reviewed before. And that's from 1976. That was a great film as well. Also, I have to mention it, it's Black Sunday, a really great thriller. That's from 1977. So I say it's directed by Hitchcock, and this is his first release for MGM, and he's only one. He didn't do any more for MGM, but there we are. And it's said that he joked about this idea he had about Mount Rushmore, Lincoln's nose, and that he'd have a scene in that. And of course, we get on a Mount Rushmore, and into the script. So I just thought I'd put that in. Now, he makes his usual appearance very quick in this film. I don't know whether it's the quickest appearance, but we see him, his name coming on the credits, and we see this bus doors slam and him just going into them. And there it is. It's there. You can see him. Yes. Right. So the music is by Bernard Herrmann, and what a score it is. It's great score. It's vibrant and it's wonderful, and it's very much part of the film. And it sounds really good. I know when I was playing it, through the speakers on watching film, fantastic. Now, the opening titles are also by a graphic designer, Saul Bass, and that looks great. I just mentioned a few locations as well. We've got the United Nations headquarters in New York, which of course is right at the beginning of the film. We've got to film that. And of course, we've got a railway station with the Grand Central Terminal, New York. We've got Chicago Midway Airport, yes. And then, of course, we've got the Memorial Viewing Building, Mount Rushmore. Yes, that all fits, doesn't it? Yes, of course it does. So let's get into the cast. The cast is headed by Cary Grant, who plays Roger Thornell. Just such a wonderful actor, who's of course worked for Hitchcock before. He knew him well, and here we are. A few films that I'll mention with Cary Grant is Bringing Up Baby, 1938, and The Philadelphia Story from 1940. Both comedies as well, but he did have a history of comedy, and of course he's good. He's got a comedic role in this, hasn't he? Really, it's, some of the lines that he gives are just fantastic. That was obviously put into the script and discussed. Yeah, it suits him very much so. Then he was in, of course, the Hitchcock film Suspicion, 1941, Notorious, 1946, and To Catch a Thief, 1955. Brilliant Hitchcock films involved in all that. And of course, he's really well known in Charade, 1963, with Audrey Hepburn. And their relationship in that film was fantastic. It's a great comedy. It really is. Wonderful. Anyhow, the next one is Eva Marie Saint, who plays Eve Kendall. Now, she was in On the Waterfront, 1954, which is a Marlon Brando film, a young Marlon Brando. Then we've got the Exodus, yes, 1960, which we mentioned before. We've got the Sandpiper, 1965. We've got Nothing in Common, 1986, which is with Tom Hanks. And Superman Returns, 2006. Some great films there. And I'm not mentioning them all, but there we are. Then, of course, we've got James Mason, who plays Philip Van Damme. Oh, I love James Mason. And he's a Yorkshireman, born in Huddersfield. Hey, you can't say fairer than that, can you? Hey. Anyhow, he was such a great actor, really. James Mason was great. Now, The Wicked Lady, 1945. That's a great performance. And then there's these war films, The Desert Fox, 1951, and The Desert Rats, 1953. He plays Rommel, and he's great. Absolutely wonderful. Julius Caesar, he's in that. Brilliant from 1953. He's in Journey to the Centre of the Earth, 1959. Jules Verne, classic. Then he's in Lolita, 1962, which is a Kubrick film. Wonderful. And then Georgie Girl. Yes, I love Georgie Girl. 1966. He's in that. He was in another war film, which I have seen as well, The Blue Max. Again, playing Germans. 1966. Spring and Port Wine, which is a brilliant play, 1970. Then Mandingo, 1975, with Susan George. Hey, you can't say fairer than that. And of course, I've got to mention, even though it's considered a TV film, Salem's Lot. Salem's Lot, brilliant horror. It is. It's wonderful. If you've never seen Salem's Lot, why haven't you? And then we've got Leo G. Carroll, who plays the professor. Oh, he was in Wuthering Heights, 1939, which is a Laurence Olivier film. Yeah, brilliant. He plays Heathcliff, Olivier. Then he was in, now, some more Hitchcock. Rebecca, 1940. Suspicion, 1941. Spellbound, 1945. And The Paradigm Case, 1947. Hitchcock films. Yes, and he's in this. Oh, and Strangers in on a Train, 1951, which we've just recently reviewed. Wow, fantastic. Hitchcock obviously really liked him. Yeah. And then, of course, he's really well known. I knew his face straight away. The Man from U.N.C.L.E. Oh, yeah. Oh, what series that was. 1964 to 1968. I have to mention Man from U.N.C.L.E. Great series. And, of course, they did a spin-off films as well. Yeah. Then we've got Martin Landau playing Leonard. He was in They Call Me Mr. Tibbs, 1970. He was in Crimes and Misdemeanors, 1989, which is a Woody Allen film. Wonderful award-winning Woody Allen film. Then it was in Silver, which is a Sharon Stone film from 1993. He was in The X-Files. Yeah, The X-Files, 1998. And of course, originally, he was in the Mission Impossible TV series, which ran from 1966 to 1969. Of course, he was also in Space 1999, which ran from 1975 to 1977. Oh, what a great actor. Really, just amazing. You know, wonderful. Of course, I say, seeing him in the X Files as well, which I love the X Files film, was just great. Anyhow, then we've got Jessie Royce Landis, who plays Clara Thornell. And she was in To Catch a Thief. Yes, so there we are. Hitchcock liked her, but she had really a lot of minor roles in films and TV series and all that kind of thing. So you're saying, get on with it. What's this about? Well, I suppose I'm not going to go into too much detail because I think it will spoil it. But it's got very much a Hitchcock theme. A tale of mistaken identity. That is it. An innocent man trying to prove himself innocent, and of course he goes on the run. So you've got the law enforcement people, the police, and what have you going. But you've also got this mysterious organization who are obviously, if it's part of the Cold War, so working for Eastern Europe and all that kind of thing going on, and they're chasing after him because they believe, well, they don't want him to stop them smuggling out this important microfilm which contains lots of state secrets. And unfortunately, the American, I suppose, CIA Secret Service, they've created this figure who who is a decoy, really. He doesn't exist. It doesn't exist, and it's a thing that they did. They created these people to fool the other side, and it worked well often. But in this case, it all ends up into the plot of the film, and it's brilliant. And from the moment the film starts, you get fully into this as he's thrown into this situation. It's just brilliantly put together, this film. You can't fault it at all. You really can't. It's so entertaining. The time goes by so quickly when you're watching it as you go from one set piece to another. But in all that, it's got such a lot of warmth, humour, action, comedy, as I said. Another thing I'd like to say is that Cary Grant really is brilliant with Eve Marie Saint. Their relationship is absolutely fantastic. There's a scene in the train, and it's electric. It reminds me of Bogart and Bacall in The Big Sleep. It's really quite a sexually charged scene. It's amazing how it's all there. It's what apparently the censors were. They had to be careful how they wrote this scene because the censors, very strict. But it reminds me of, say, Bogart and Bacall. Oh, it's a wonderful scene. It really is. I mean, this film, it's been considered one of the greatest films of all time. You can see why. Whether it is the greatest film of all time, I don't know, because there's loads of great films. But you would treasure this film as something really special, and it is special, I think so. And what of course makes it special is the fact that that it's Hitchcock in top form. He really is, and what again makes him such a great director is that I love all these other films, like Vertigo and Psycho. Birds, the Birds is great as well. There's so many other great films, you could just keep listing them. But yeah, this, you can see how this stands out, the way everything just comes together and pastes together. Fantastic film. It's just a masterclass. It is, and the climax is great. The ending you're happy with. Everything about it. I can't fault it. So, before I go, I'll show you this. There it is. So the light, they're getting in the way a bit there. There, can you see that? That's brilliant. There it is, this Blu-ray copy from the box set. There's the back. And the extras. Wow. Just amazing. Absolutely, you get a real good insight into the film. Highly recommended. And of course, as I say, I'll show you. This all comes from this box set. Wonderful box set. The 3 films in it. But we haven't finished. Next week, there'll be more Hitchcock. Yes, they will. I haven't given up yet with Hitchcock. No. Let's see what I've got. Yeah. Anyhow, that's it. So if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. We'll let you know when I put out these videos. And if you want to know what I do, just have a look at the playlist. There's more of all the Hitchcock films I've reviewed. Have a look at them and have a look at the other things I've done. Hopefully you like them, or perhaps you won't. But if you like this video, please give it a like. Get it out to YouTube and all algorithms. And if you've got any comments, I love to read your comments. I really do. I'll answer all your comments. And that's it. It all costs notes. You can't say fairer than that. So all I've got to say is, I'll see thee again.